Hey, welcome into another episode of Halos in the Infield, the podcast form with your host, Todd Fox. And we have two other hosts of the show. Number one,
Jason Hester.
all right, Jason Hester, and the other host of the show,
Vince Mello.
Vince Mello. Yes, sir. Lifelong Angel fans. Let's hear a little bit about you first, JT. We got to you last time a little bit, but reintroduce yourself to the fans. Tell them a little bit about yourself and the Angel fandom and what you're going through this season.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Jason Hester, also go by JT. I'm mainly known for running the Halos and Infield TikTok. Got a couple somewhat viral videos there. Lifelong Halo fan, obviously. Hopefully they do a little bit better than they're doing right now. Trying to go more games every single week. So far I got 2 more games on the slot, but trying to get to as many as possible.
Cool. All right, and Vince.
I just like to make memes, and I usually send them to Todd for credit. So most memes you guys could see could be from me usually.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. He's a lifelong Angels fan as well. So you'll see more of these guys as the season progresses. Hopefully the season will turn around, but we're going to get into what's been happening the last couple games as they had the series with Seattle. They did very good up in Seattle, winning 4 out of 5, but again, they didn't score as many runs. Although getting the 4 out of 5, most of it came from Mike Trout. And first off, I'll ask you guys this. Mike Trout, your thoughts on him? Is he back? Is he in form? Is this going to be, or is that something that just happened against Seattle and the Royals? And is this going to be, or are we going to see him break out more as the season progresses?
I don't necessarily
honestly,
think I don't think that he's like gone anywhere necessarily. When you get injured, you're not going to be the greatest player of all time, but like the fact that
yeah,
he's doing this at a certain age after multiple injuries, years after years, like I don't think he's left. If I want to be honest, like every single player, no matter how good, how bad you are, you're going to have slumps every once in a while. You're going to be bad. You're going to be great sometimes. It just so happened he was great against a team that he owns, but I don't think he's left.
Okay. Vince?
as for me, yeah, I feel like he's just in a slump right now too. I've been watching him since he came up when I was younger, and he can do things. So I personally think that yeah, he's in a slump, and I think he's going to hopefully turn it around this year. But we'll see what happens.
Okay. And speaking of Mike Trout, with everything that happened, obviously we're going to get into the Seattle series here in a minute, but I had to sidetrack you guys again. Look, there's been a lot of talk about, is it time to trade him? Because if you look at his age right now, by the end of the season, he'll be 31. And I think he has a good 5-6 more years of prime left in him before he starts a steady, slow decline as he approaches 40. You can still get a king's ransom for him. Is this something that the Angels explore in the offseason, in your opinion, as a trade?
I honestly think it depends on Shohei's going. If he resigns, then keep on building the team we have now. But let's say he does go, and then let's say our record declines or our team drastically declines within the next year. It might be a situation that we might have to use. But like let's be honest here. I feel like he was loyal to us. He could have easily went to the Phillies a couple years ago when he resigned, but he's loyal to us. Like we owe everything to this guy. Like in my opinion, he's one of the greatest players ever played. Like I feel like we need to stay loyal to him.
I agree.
Okay. Or you have anything else to expound on that, Vince, besides that? Or
Um, Personally, I don't see him going anywhere. I really don't, because I know he loves it here with us.
Mhm.
Well, I should say, surprisingly, he loves it here with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, like JT said, yeah, he's really loyal to us, and I honestly thought for sure he was going to go to Philly. Honestly, if we didn't sign him long term in 2019, I just thought for sure he was going to go to Philly. But yeah, I personally don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that scares a lot of Angel fans. I mean, because I think this was a year when it first started in the first 44 games, everyone felt like, man, I think we're onto something here. But the fact that unless they make a run, we're going to miss the playoffs again. It kind of hurts the re-signability of these guys, or at least Ohtani. And you'd like to have healthy guys to build around. We haven't seen anything, marginal even out of Rendon. And I think that's what's scary too. We're going to go into year 4, the halfway point of his contract, basically. And we haven't seen one good season. Nobody's going to take that contract. So we're going to get Rendon back. We're going to have at least one more year of Ohtani if that's not moved. And we're definitely going to have Trout. Throw this season away. Do you think with what they've learned The pitching is going to be all right. Do you think with a good off season, this team could be primed next year for a run?
I personally think so. Like, I don't want to sound like a Halo honk here, but you could tell in the first part of the season we had the talent, or at least we could figure out ways to win. Like, get a couple more pieces, get a little bit more depth in that roster, maybe even another star player if we have the money for it. Like, I can see ourselves moving up as maybe the Astros move down a little bit as well.
Okay, JT. I mean Vince. Sorry.
Personally, I think we could also this off season. I'm just hoping, like we could really, because I don't really know who's going to be like who big pitcher wise is going to be free agents this off season. I'm hoping we can go for one of them. Like I had high hopes we were going to go for Garrett Cole in 2019, but then we ended up with Rendon, and then I was hoping for Bauer. And then look what happened with him, and then but hopefully we can. I mean, I feel like if Ohtani doesn't want to stay with us, I want to say we might trade him for a good pitcher, but it's hard to believe. If anything, maybe we would trade somebody like Joe Adele for pitching, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just. But yeah, I'm hoping we can improve though. Not to sound like a Halo honk, also like he said.
Well, I mean, like
It's so.
I feel you. I mean, it's just hard to give up a season this early. Like I'm one of those that I'll root for them until they're mathematically eliminated, and still I'll go through the pain of going to games when they're out. But I really want them to make a run at least. I don't want them to whimper to the finish line. And I would hate to see if we come to the deadline and Syndergaard and Lorenzen are dangled out there, or even Adele as trade pieces. I mean, maybe Adele needs a change of scenery because do you guys, and here's the last question I'm going to ask before we get into the actual on the field stuff. But speaking of Joe Adele, in your personal opinion, do you think the Angels have done him right organizationally wise, giving him the best tools to succeed, or bringing him up, calling him, putting him down? Do you think they've treated him right, or do you think he's been unfairly treated as a player through the system?
I want to be honest. The first season, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Even Shohei Ohtani didn't play too well in the COVID year. Like it's totally different than what we're usually used to. But I feel like him and also Luis Rengifo have been given multiple chances. They have been given opportunities to perform, and maybe besides like some great defensive plays, like over the past 2 years, and like that one grand slam in Detroit, like considering the fact that when we drafted him, we thought he might be the next Mike Trout, like he should be at another level by now, and it really sucks. He definitely has the talent, we all know that, but maybe a change of scenery changes that for him.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with JT as well. I was super hyped too. Because everybody like he said was hyping him up as the next Mike Trout or even Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we've given him a lot of chances. And it just seems like his struggles are mainly just catching the ball in the outfield. Really, I mean, he's getting some good swings here and there, but I still think he wasn't what we all hoped he was going to be. Like I said, like a Mike Trout or Fernando Tatis. So yeah,
Okay,
that's my thing.
that's fair enough.
Just watch. If he did happen to go to the Dodgers, someone like that, he'd be their star player. You just watch.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I know for a fact that would happen.
See, yeah, that's a thing too. You take like even with Heaney when he went to the Dodgers, he pitched like phenomenal before he got hurt.
Oh my god.
So it's like, yeah, I don't want to see any Angel go over there, please. I've been jaded by when or hurt when our boy Kendrick went over there. So
oh yeah.
Yeah, like you see, like last night when Upton was batting with the bases loaded, because I went to the game last night. I don't know if I told you guys, but when Upton was batting with the bases loaded, I had so much anxiety. I'm like, I swear, if this dude hits a grand slam, we are literally cursed.
well,
But he struck out, and I think everybody was pretty happy about that. And he broke his bat in half. That was funny.
yeah, that was pretty sick when he did that. I mean, that takes a lot of power in those thighs to do that. But I was gonna say those guys that sit down that used to be Uptown Funk last year, they don't have that those designs anymore, or the outfits anymore. They just sit in the front. I was like, man, if that dude hits a grand slam right now, someone kick them out, please, because they still have a love for Uptown.
Yeah, they were there last night too. They showed them on the screen.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think they really dress as much anymore because like who knows?
Yeah, they were in like blue, like Seattle blue colors.
Yeah, because that's weird.
He might be in like Tacoma next week, So
yeah,
if he's going to even be in the roster.
Dude, I saw them the other day when I saw Angel's grandma down there, and they were just dressed in street clothes, and they saw me, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "What do you guys call each other now? Like just fans?" There's no more Uptown Funk, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so moving on from that, they opened up the 3-game series with Seattle. Right now, I mean, as the standings look, we're tied, I think, with Seattle, Baltimore, the Orioles.
Baltimore. Oh,
That entire division in the East is eligible or close to a wild card spot, which is crazy. You got the Yankees leading the division and everyone else is alive still, which usually we're used to two teams in that division being dead already, or at least one, and they're all alive right now. And we got to jump those teams, including Texas, Ohio, Boston, and the White Sox. So, I mean, there
yeah.
are too many teams vying for one spot. So this is going to be pretty crazy, which if there's that many teams alive, the trade pieces and trade partners are going to be few and far between. So the Angels are going to have to maybe pay out more if they get closer. Question is to you guys right now with this series and how they played, losing 2 out of 3 to Seattle, losing 2 out of 3 to Kansas City, now with Chicago coming up. Can this team turn it around and get close to the wild card, closer, and then make a move to put them over the top?
One way to find out, right? You're playing one of the teams you have to beat. Get at least 2 games ahead of, or 2 games up. That's the only way to find out. Honestly, you got to beat these teams that come up against you that you need to finish against. Sorry, I said that a little weird, but you need to beat these teams that are ahead of you.
Mhm.
It's a perfect opportunity. And right after we have Houston, so we need to go on a hot streak. Hopefully, that fight today sparks something. But one
Yeah.
way to find out.
All right, Vince.
As for me, I hope like we just need to get some hits. We got to stop swinging for the fences all the time. I feel like that's our big problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can tell like half of our batters, like Velasquez and March, you can tell it's like they're trying to hit it out. It's like I feel like our batters just need to learn to like hit bunts when we have runners on the bases, and like if we do that, I feel like we could definitely score some runs. So
I feel like that should be Velasquez and Wade's only job, honestly. Like, obviously, get a hit every
oh my
once in a while,
gosh,
but
I
like
know.
in those situations, they have that speed. It was shown today when Velasquez got that crappy hit and it barely went in. He had the speed to get through. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
him and Wade just need to focus on the bunts. Like, it may look stupid, it may not look super cool. It won't be on ESPN, but get that bunting, get on base. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Yeah, that was the thing that if the only thing I take about when they talk about the 2002 celebration, and they talked about the Oakland A's in that movie, they were talking about a hit's as good as a walk. Just get on base. We don't need to swing for the fences, slap the ball the other way. I mean, I wish we had a hitting instructor from that movie, or one that like what Darren Erstad was talking about the O2 celebration.
yeah,
I like the fact that he's being mentioned as a possible manager, and if a guy like him takes over, you best believe he's going to get a hitting instructor in there that's going to teach these guys to do what you guys are talking about. Because a guy that reminds me of an Angels 2002 type hitter who would have fit on that team is a David McKinnon. He's a guy who is not swinging for the fences. He's just trying to make contact. He's looking to work a walk if he can. He takes what the pitcher gives you. Those are the unselfish players that we need on this club. And Renifo, I've seen him too, putting the barrel on the bat lately, not really trying to kill the ball, takes what the pitcher gives him. If we get more hitters like that in the lineup, screw Velasquez, Suzuki, Wade, they're not using their talents, bench them. Get more guys up here like that. And I think we're going to wind up seeing the value of that. And we're going to see players come up like that because that's the only way, like you guys say, we're going to win. Because again, we only scored 2 runs today, and we've been scoring under 4 runs a lot. And that's not what this team should be doing.
Yeah, when you see players like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani gets walked as much as they did today, like there's nothing they can do. Like obviously when you have 2 of the greatest players in the league at the moment, like you should be getting those good runs consistently, but like obviously there are a lot of walks. So the back end of the batting order just needs to pick up the pace for them, and like unfortunately they're just not doing it right now. They got to do it eventually though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree with JT.
And do you guys think that? Do you think there's going to be any more firings of the coaching staff or promotions, demotions by the end of the season?
Paul Sorrento. That's about it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hitting
Yeah.
coaches, yeah. If there's another losing streak, I feel like they just might be picking straws, and I feel like Nevin is on the hot seat. I personally love Nevin. I think he's a phenomenal coach. Like the fire under him, I just love
Mhm.
it. But
Yeah, I like
just
Phil Nevin
considering
too.
his like his small amount of time as being the MLB head coach, like I feel like he just might be like, oh, we're losing, you're the reason, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But hopefully not. I like Nevin.
Yeah, yeah. Because I wouldn't want him to get the axe for the team's play. So getting into this right now, let's talk about what they did. If I could pull this up here, the Angels in Game 1 lost to the Mariners 4-3. Thoughts on that game on Friday?
I want to be honest. I was working that night, so I watched the highlights. Nothing too special. Even though we all thought the Mariners were going to be this crazy team coming into the season with all their acquisitions and their previously young core, like
Mm-hmm.
they're not that team. They're not that team. It sucks for Mariners fans, but yeah, when you're playing against a team like that, and when you have a player that owns that franchise, you need to play out of water. Especially when you lose to a team like Kansas City 2 out of 3 games. Like this is a game you need to be pounding that team into the fence. You know what I mean? Just
Mm-hmm.
continuously scoring, and we couldn't really do that.
Vince?
Yeah, and the same thing earlier this year, when Baltimore took 2 of 3 of us, or 3 games of us at home, like he said, yeah, we got to be pounding these teams, or at least taking the series. I would hope, I'm sure all Halo fans would hope for a sweep, but it's not looking good so far, but yeah, like JT said, we just got to be beating up these teams that are like, the worst in the league right now.
Yeah, and Seattle, like you said, they got the pitching, they just haven't had the hitting, and it doesn't matter who they put out there. But this game was frustrating. They pulled Lorenzen early in 3 innings, went to a bullpen game. The bullpen held their own, but Angels could only muster 3 runs, but they had 10 hits, left guys on base. So it was like the same old story in this game. And then that moved us to Game 2, which was Saturday night. The Angels lost that game 5-3. Every time they would score, they gave a run right back. So, what was your impression on that game?
I watched a little bit later, but like the fact that what you just said, they kept on giving up a run right after they got a run, it was completely embarrassing. It was absolutely aggravating just watching this team say, "Oh, well, we got another one. Let's just keep this. Let's just keep on building off of it." And then, kind of like similar today, they had so many opportunities to get more runs, and they just keep on missing because the back end of our batting order just honestly can't perform. But overall, just completely aggravating watching this team because there's multiple opportunities to win. Like I just said, it just couldn't pan out for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, and for Game 2, I got a lot to say myself because I was there at the stadium. We definitely had our chances. Like the first inning, I forget who hit the home run in Seattle, but that ball was crushed. That was just a wrong pitch that Sandoval threw to him.
Yeah,
I forgot his name.
Guy. Yeah, he's
JP Crawford, right? Is it him?
No. It is. Man, I forgot his name. Do you know his name? It's Hernandez.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
He's a dog though.
Julio Rodriguez.
Julio Rodriguez. There we go.
Yeah.
That home run by him in the first inning was just crushed. I saw it just from up above. I was in section 421, and that ohtani home run was huge. I just wish we had runners on base for that. Because that would have been a huge lead for us. And the bullpen, Jose Quintana, is that his name?
Iglesias, I think. Yeah,
Iglesias. No, Iglesias. What's his name? Quintana. There you go. Yeah. When he gave up the lead, and I think it was like the 5th or 6th inning, there were actually, believe it or not, Halo fans booing. Like they were upset. Like there was a lot of people booing him after they gave up the lead. I feel like the fans were just really into the game last night. So it almost felt like a sold out crowd. Just the only place that really didn't have fans were just those up right and left field corners up there.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, the stadium was pretty packed for a Saturday. And that Kurt Suzuki home run, I feel like he just got lucky. He got the hit. So
did you see a celebration? Did you see a celebration? Yeah. He's like, #1, baby.
I was just gonna say, I had the same feeling you had with Velasquez a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm talking about? We're like, don't celebrate. I had that same feeling. I'm like, you're for real celebrating doing your job. Like this is the first thing you've done, like somewhat all right, practically this whole season, buddy. Like calm down a bit. Yeah. Calm down.
Yeah,
At
I think
least Squid makes good defensive plays.
yeah, exactly. Because
God.
every time, I mean, how many times did a guy steal second base and Suzuki either fumbled the ball trying to get it out of his glove, and it was a
Oh my
straight
goodness,
steal.
he was so bad catching last night. I just saw everybody was like, "What the hell occurred?"
Yeah, yeah, and that was the thing. Did you guys go to the 2002 night? On Wednesday.
Yeah, I
I was
did.
going to. I decided not to last second. I regret it.
Oh, okay. Because I was just gonna say, I don't know, Vince, if since you got the vibe from Wednesday to Saturday, I could tell on TV Saturday's game felt like a real, almost like a playoff game. The fans were
Yeah.
into it. Was it me or was the crowd dead on Wednesday? Like they didn't know what to think the entire night.
Yeah, it was. Like I remember when I first got there, the stadium felt dead. I'm like, is this really like all the people are going to show up tonight for our ceremony? That's kind of sad.
Yeah, and but I mean like the crowd noise, the anticipation, they were kind
Yeah,
of quiet.
yeah, crowd noise too. Yeah, because I feel like I don't know, but yeah, it did feel kind of quiet.
Yeah, I'm just glad they got the W that night. But
Yeah, it was like 5-0 the final score, I think.
and then if I'm correct, when I saw Seattle win at the end, they had a lot of fans on the first base side. Was that me, or is it just was there a lot of Seattle fans there?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of Seattle fans there. I couldn't believe it.
That's crazy. I
You
haven't.
know, like like I before the game, I was across the street at the Golden Road Bar with my cousin because I went with my cousin last time. There was a lot of Seattle fans there, and he's like, "Why is there Seattle fans here?" I'm like, "I don't know. They're just here."
That's a little weird.
It is weird. I haven't seen that many Seattle fans in the stadium since Ichiro days. So
Yeah.
it's been a while. So they lose that game, and then that brings us to today's game, which is Sunday afternoon. There was a fraction of the fans there today. Then there was, JT was obviously there today.
It was pretty damn hot.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, I've been inside all day, so I can't imagine.
Yeah.
There's this amazing attendant. She had a bottle of sunscreen with her, and she would just walk around and see if anyone needed anything. I was like, that saved my life.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That saved my life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be as red as that sweater right now.
No, the sweater would be red as me.
Oh, okay, yeah. There
Yeah, you see, like of like the 4 years I've been a season seat holder at the stadium, I've only gone to 2 afternoon games, and both times it was hot as hell.
Yeah,
So
I try to do one just because like it's different, but usually when I'm there, I'm like, why the hell did I do this?
Yeah.
yeah, because I remember my last day game I went to in 2019, like it was so hot. I was there with my family, and we were down, I think like 8-2 or something like that. I forgot who we were playing. I think we were playing. Who were we playing? We might have been playing the White Sox, I think, something like that. Then my family just wanted to leave because they were just sweating, and I'm just like, no, I want to stay. But they just went in the shade while I was just there dying. I'm like, yeah, it is kind of hot. Of course, right after we leave, I forgot who walked it off that game, but somebody hit a walk-off home run. I think it might have been Cole Calhoun. I don't remember.
Damn.
But
missed out.
But right after that,
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
See, I only went to one day game where it was nice, actually. I went when it was like, I think still June, and they had a rare midweek day game. And I went and it was overcast. It was like a 12 o'clock start, and it stayed overcast all day until like the very end when they were about ready to win. So I was happy. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like, it wasn't bad at all. So you have that rarely at the Big A.
Yeah.
Early in the year, I wanted to go to a game because I always thought it'd be cool. I'm like, I get off school around like 12-ish. So I'm like, it would be pretty cool to just go straight to the stadium right after a game. There's a game at like 110, 120. It's when we were playing the Guardians. And I'm like, man, that would be pretty cool. It's a day game. I got so damn lucky. It was like solid, like hot or low 70s, high 60s, just nice breeze coming in. It was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And they sweet.
Yeah, I remember one of the games I went to this year. I think it might have been in April or May. I remember one of the games I went to this year. By like the 7th or 8th inning, it was already like I think like 52 degrees outside, so it was nice.
That's the thing that we can't enjoy here, being in Anaheim. Like, is to go to another city like in the Midwest where they have, especially early in the season where it's cold as funk, and they play a lot of day games. But even in the summertime, they'll get away with a early morning game or something like that. So, I mean, we just don't have that luck over here where it's cool. I mean, in summertime, if it's a day game, usually, God damn, it's hot, especially Sundays.
Oh yeah. But I will say Wednesday felt like Yankee Stadium because of that thunderstorm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that game was going to get canceled. Like, I woke up to like the rain hitting against my window. I'm like, oh my god, like what a bummer.
Yeah.
Like this is
I
like
thought it was going to be a rainout like 2019, which I happened to go to that game, and I remember when they canceled it, everyone was so pissed. Like, what the hell?
no,
Yeah,
I thought it was. I thought it wasn't going to be a rain. I thought it was just strictly because there's like lightning in the area. So I was like, damn, they've been like hyping.
Yeah,
this
like
they can't play.
some lightning strikes looked like they were almost behind the Honda Center, but I'm sure they were farther, but they just looked close behind the Honda Center. I remember people kept going, whoa, and everybody's like, what the hell? Like, what are they whoaing at? So
yeah, you messaged me, right, about the lightning, I think, because I was walking the concourse, and then as soon as he messaged me, I looked over and I'm like, oh yeah, there's some lightning right there, because
yeah,
I was scared it was going to get canceled too. I really wanted to check it because it was humid as funk. All the players in the 2002 celebration, they were all sweating like crazy, but yeah. But I definitely
I actually had posted a picture of the lightning, and I tweeted at Gooby on Twitter, and he liked my post. I'm assuming him and Patrick probably saw the lightning up there as well.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah. I love Gooby. Yeah.
Who doesn't, man? I mean, I don't think he can piss off anybody. But yeah, let's get to today's game, man. Okay, because obviously the final score was 2-1, but that was overshadowed. I mean, the Angels played small ball and good pitching, got a rare W. You know, I'm not going to take too much out of this one because it's the Mariners, but we're going to talk about what happened when Vince went, which led to today. So you want to tell them what happened with Mike Trout on Saturday night?
Oh yeah, Mike Trout almost got hit in the head in the ninth inning, and like the whole stadium was like riling with boos. Like everybody was pissed. Everybody's like, "Oh, what are you doing throwing at Mike Trout? He can knock your ass out in a second." Just yeah. The fans were heated when they nearly hit him. And there was like an inning too where it almost hit Shohei, and people were getting mad. And then there was another inning where it almost hit Kurt Suzuki, and then people were getting mad. And it's like, gosh, what's Seattle's deal? You know?
Well, yeah, and a little bit on that too with Mike Trout. Like obviously people know him as like this calm, cool, collected guy. And when he was talking about that post game, about that one wild pitch, like that meant a lot to him. You know, it's like if you're gonna hit me in the ribs, don't go for my head. So not only did I get the Trout, I got to the team. So that's a little thing too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I believe that's what got everything going today. Because usually, like everyone's always complaining, Trout doesn't say anything, he's not vocal. Well, he vocalized his frustration, and like JT said, and like Vince said, it got back to the team, and it was set up for something like this to happen. And look what happened. JT, you want to tell them what happened? Walk us through what happened in today's game.
Yeah, so I'll start it off with this ESPN notification I got about 10 minutes ago. Fan seeds Prost Ball pizza. Mariners fan seeds Jesse Winker with the pizza after the injection. So I guess some fan chucked the pizza at Jesse Winker today.
Oh man!
Let's go Angels, man!
Best all right.
League. But yeah. I get there. A little off topic, but I found it weird. I heard that Jose Suarez was going to start, and then Wance he started. So I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. Ended up that Suarez ended up playing. So oh well. But I found that a little weird. And if it wasn't the first batter, it was the second batter. Threw a ball at him. I didn't think too much of it. I obviously knew about yesterday, but I'm like, well, wild pitches happen all the time. Until the umpires, they all got together and they were like contemplating, like, are we going to throw this guy out, or is this like from the previous game, or are they just building off of that? But thankfully, they let them play until the second inning, chucked the ball at Winker, and at that point on, it was fury, people talking about Rendon, people talking about Suzuki, all these guys. McKinnon didn't get enough love. I was sitting like a couple rows back, but me and my buddy, we immediately ran to the front row because like we got to see this. You can see from this angle, I don't think the camera got it. He was punching someone in the face, just like
no man.
He was going at someone. It 100% could have been Syndergaard, maybe. I saw the hair on the and the headband, but I'm pretty sure that was God, McKinnon or whatever his name is. I'm blanking right now.
It's so hard to tell. It's like McKinnon's like a mini me of Syndergaard.
He is. He is.
Every single time. But yeah, the craziest thing. I've never seen anything like that. I'm so glad I did. Closest thing to it was when Albert Pujols was talking shit to one of those teams a couple years ago, and then
oh my gosh, I was at that game, dude.
Yeah,
oh my
people
gosh,
talking. That's like the closest thing to it, and all around, I've never seen a brawl like that. At least, like it felt very 1970s. Just I don't care who it is, I'm punching the guy in the face. And like what you were saying, the post game show, like we are so lucky nobody got hurt, especially with our injury prone team like that.
Oh yeah.
We got extremely lucky, especially with those metal cleats, even the plastic ones. Like that could have been a very bad injury, especially for one of the pitchers that actually needs the arm. So
Yeah, like I'll definitely say that's probably one of the craziest fights I've seen since Rugman Odor punched Batista.
yeah, absolutely. And
yeah, so
there must have been something in the water today because that wasn't the only fight. Obviously that was a big one, but around like the fifth inning, I saw a Mariners and Angels fan getting in a full-on fist fight. Like cops had to come down and they couldn't even hold him down. Like you would see the guy throwing the security guards out of the way and keep on like wailing at this guy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and around the eighth, ninth inning, there was this one like drunk group of guys, like college age somewhat. They snuck into where I was sitting, and not only did they take this family's seat area, but they ate their food. So
oh my goodness.
So they eventually got kicked out. I have no idea how they got back. And when they did, they just kept on yelling, "Cry about it, cry about it."
Oh shit!
When they went in, they got yelled in his face, "Cry about it." Guy turns around, takes off his jersey, just like slams this guy, and then you can tell that this guy in general could whoop all their asses because he just pushed this guy. He goes flying, and thankfully that guy didn't get in trouble because he was defending his family. But everyone else, I'm pretty sure they got arrested. So. Must have been something.
Oh my goodness!
I'm telling you, the security in Anaheim is terrible. And
it is,
and they only beef it up when the Dodgers or Yankees come. That's when you see the bigger guys. For the most part, it's a bunch of old retired people. It's like, what are they gonna do when you have these young guys that are fighting?
It was a fat cop walking down the stairs. Just went, seriously?
Yeah, I noticed the cops were there last night too. Like. Apparently, I think something happened in right field last night in those right field bleachers because, like, I kept hearing like a bunch of like yelling and like chanting over there, and like everybody was looking over there, and people had like binoculars, and they just couldn't see what was going on down there. I want to say it was maybe like a fight or something, but it was weird that the cops had to show up. So,
and then the winker flipping everyone off too, like it was a cool.
Oh my gosh, that made me pissed when I saw that.
They all gave him the bird,
Yeah.
Everyone knew what to do. Everyone gave him the bird right back.
Well, what sucks is we don't. What sucks is we don't play Seattle anytime soon right now, and that's what sucks.
Yeah.
I would love for them to come back to the Big A real quick here, because the fans are gonna be waiting for him when they come back here.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So like,
I'll be in the infield. They made this shirt of Rendon, like just get in his face. They already made a shirt of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing though with this team, man. This is a crazy scene from what this is all Nevin. What happened because Madden would have shrugged it off and said, "Peace and love. Let's continue to play ball. Let's do what's not getting us W's." And Nevin went up there and I knew he orchestrated this because Wantz, like you said, was not the scheduled starter. Wantz was looking to get thrown out, and they got a couple innings out of him before he got thrown out. But here's the thing.
That was a reason?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because when have you seen Nevin do a spot starter? He hasn't.
That's true. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. So Suarez was the intended dude. Look, it worked out both ways. I think this is a team building exercise. Number one. And number two, they got the most innings out of Suarez they've had all year. He's only given him 4.5, 5 max. He pitched.
He did great today.
Yeah, he pitched 6 solid. He was really good, and you could tell he was pissed off too because he was involved in the fight. So I'm gonna name a few names of players, and you tell me if they're goats for what they did or they're pussies. We'll play that. Yeah, we'll start with Stassi. What do you guys?
God.
What do you think about Stassi, man?
It's not even the fact that what he did today was uncalled for. You're the catcher. You're the first man. You're the first man that he had to go through, and you just kind of let it happen. Yeah. It's not even that. He's been pissing me off for the past couple of weeks, ever since LA, where he had the opportunity to even tie it up. Mm-hmm. He just looks at a pitch, and then ever since then, just somewhat bad defensive plays. Offensively, it doesn't even look like he's trying. Mm-hmm. He's just kind of jogging to the bases. It's he's been pissing me off recently. He's not old. He's fairly young. He has no excuse for this. pussy.
Yeah, he's reminding me of like when we first got him from Houston when we did the trade in 2019. Like I feel like that's exactly how he is right now, like not doing nothing. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember when we first brought him in.
Yeah, who's barely hitting
There's a bit
200.
of time where I was
Yeah.
There's a bit of time where I'm like, whoa, he might be like not like the next Buster Posey, but he can be like a solid pitcher or a solid catcher that can get us through the game, that can get a couple of hits, maybe a couple of runs, and then.
Unfortunately,
like I was glad when we extended him for a few years, and now I'm just like,
So. Well, now I look at it this way: we still need a catcher. I think you slide Suzuki out of there. What you're going to do with Wallach or the other guys down in AAA, I don't know, but you're going to need a major league catcher that can play 4 or 5 times a week. Stassi can maybe at max give you 3 times a week, and that means you have to see Suzuki 2 or 3 times. So he's not been durable. He's been injured off and on. He's having a terrible year after getting extended. I thought he would be much better. Like I thought his finishing numbers would be like 15 homers, 60 RBIs, or 55 RBIs, 270 average. I could take that. But he's not going to give you anything close to that this season. He's been a disappointment. And so when that first pitch hit Winker, like you said, Stassi turns his back. He almost like looks at the pitcher. Wants is like, I don't care if he rushes me, he rushes me. I don't care. I'll knock him out. Because I knew he wasn't going to go after Wants. You see how big Wants is. And then so
he's a big guy.
Yeah, and so then the umpire is grabbing, Winker, and Stassi's still not doing nothing. And then he's progressively making his way to your dugout. Grab the son of a bitch. Doesn't. Yeah. And then so he actually walks away from home plate. And then here come all the Mariners. He has a chance to grab one of those 5. And he's like, the dugout's over there, boys. Go for it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get into like the very last second where he's pulling like 1 or 2 guys or pretending to hold him back. I'm like, what a freaking pussy, dude.
He's probably like, I ain't trying to get hurt today, Like,
he's not trying to mess up his face.
Oh God.
Yeah. He's like, I just shaved this morning. I'm not messing this up. No, but why?
You know what was hilarious?
Taylor Ward in? Why
yeah.
ever put Taylor Ward in? Like, wasn't he a catcher in the minors? Do you think that would ever be a possibility?
No, I think he's settled in his outfield. He likes to play outfield.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh, well.
It was hilarious, like how I put in your chat earlier in the post game. I was like, I didn't know they hired Taylor Ward as a custodian picking up sunflower seeds.
Oh, yeah, he was picking up seeds.
When Rysel threw that out, I asked the security guard, I'm like, hey, man, stadium food is too fucking expensive here. Come give me a bag. Give me a bag. Give me some bubble gum. But, yeah, that was really random because it was after the fight, and we're like, oh, we're doing it again? Okay, bet. And then that was a little weird.
Well, since we're talking about Iglesias, that was dope because I've seen that with the Dodgers. They had this one guy, Perez, who went ape shit in their dugout one night after being thrown out. Yeah, and he started beating the crap out of the Powerade, throwing stuff on the field. That's what Iglesias reminded me of, except he was ready to go and bust a Winker and take on the Mariners dugout by himself. And I thought that was really tough because he showed his muscles and he was like, come on, that was awesome. That was firing up the crowd that was there. So he's definitely a GOAT. Now we'll talk about what you guys brought up earlier. McKinnon, same thing. GOAT or pussy.
Thor. That's all I'm gonna say.
So you got he got the punches in, right? You saw those punches.
Yeah.
He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He got multiple in.
Nice. Now another guy who again has just been introduced to the Angels coming over from Miami, Harrison. I give that dude major props. You just walked onto this team, and he's in there fighting for his boys, helping them out, throwing punches. I mean, how impressed were you by Harrison?
Great defense, too.
He was just option everybody that didn't do shit in the fight. Stassi, who else?
Yeah. Not only was he playing good offense, he was playing good defense. Like he was hitting some guys if he needed to, but he was pulling up the guys he needed to help out. So good on that guy. Couldn't see a change up for his life today, but hey, he could fight. So
he did strike out a lot on those on the changeups, but I thought he made a crucial slide at home. He watched that Trout was going to get thrown out, and he booked it to home and just got in there safe.
Did you see how close that was? That was ridiculous. I didn't see how close it was until I saw the replay. But
he was jogging, and then he was jogging, but then he had the awareness to look back, and he's like, oh shit, he's going to get thrown out, and he booked it. And he slid in there just to see, and then he was like, safe, I made it. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. He's got good awareness. That's already better than Adele.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Adele would have probably just slipped.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to the starting lineup when I got there. It was so damn hot. I see this guy in the outfield. I'm like, Joe Adele here? Like, I didn't know Joe Adele got called up because Joe Adele used like the one red sleeve and stuff. And I'm like, Juan Lagares got assignment or whatever. And I'm like, who is that? And then I realized it's Harrison. But yeah, so far so good. Just look at the change a little bit better.
Yeah, I think his hitting will come around. He's had a little bit of experience, but he's had better, he's been a 4A guy, so I'm hoping that this will be, another year that he could turn around. But again, the Angels had guys in there to get in the fight. Renifo was in there, Sandoval. I was very concerned about him. He was almost getting trampled there for a second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's another reason
about Rendon too.
Yeah, well, I'll get to Rendon in this.
Okay. Walsh got buried under there too.
Yeah, that's the problem. And here's what I'm going to explain. The way that, I don't know if you noticed, JT, but if you watch the dugout or the bullpen guys run out, they didn't run out how they normally run out, where they're just jogging and, they're carrying a jacket or whatever like that. They're not really, these guys were pushing each other as they're running out there. And then they got in there and they were pushing everyone against the screen. The fans were banging on a screen that they thought was plexiglass at a hockey stadium. It's more dangerous when you have it in a corner, like you've seen Pittsburgh and Cincinnati or St. Louis and Pittsburgh fight, how they go against the dugouts, how they go against the backstop. It's dangerous like that. People get pinned. People are pushed up against the fans. So it's better when the fight is on the mound or around home plate. And because of Stassi's pussy self, the fight made it to the Angel dugout, and that's what made it dangerous. That's why guys were slipping in the dirt, and that's why Sandoval wound up being on the ground. Coaches wound up being – I felt bad for Nevin, and whoever was around Nevin, they're pussies, because you had Winker in his face for a good minute, and nobody was pulling Winker out of his face. I would have been like, hey, man, get the fuck out of the way from my coach, So they didn't really step up for Nevin right there. And then you got Walsh getting trampled, Sandoval getting trampled, but you saw some Mariners taking some licks, though, man.
Yeah.
They were taking some licks.
You see JP Crawford throw that punch, just immediately hit that the above part of the dugout?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That first punch is, I know how hard that thing is. That is straight concrete. There's no padding on that. There's no nothing. He punched concrete as hard as he could. Good on him.
I remember I was yelling at the TV once. I'm like, oh my God, Mike Trout could murder all you guys if he wanted to, but he won't.
It was so funny. You could see like Shohei Ohtani jogging, smiling, have a good time, just like slowly pull back one of the Mariners guys, but like
he's like, oh shit, have some fun.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'm not gonna hit anyone. What? I got another bobblehead night in a couple weeks. I can't hit anyone.
Yeah, I know. Did you know they just gave away my snow globe?
Yeah, I got to sign some snow globes today. I can't have a broken hand for that. Come on now.
Hey, you know
what goes on the snow globe getaway? People will be throwing shattered snow globes at the freaking Mariners.
Oh my
That's
God.
Right.
Oh my God.
Well, see, you guys are too young to remember when they used to have bat night or baseball night. They used to give away baseballs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
They can't do that no more, man. And it wasn't your styrofoam balls either.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So
I was talking to my buddy about it, and I was wondering, like, I could care less, but I'm like, I remember it seemed like every single day or every other day they were like giving away like Mike Trout, like the replica jerseys. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Yakult add on it. They don't do that anymore. It's so weird because now they have two good players they can be doing that for. But I noticed that today. It's a little weird.
They actually,
what's really dumb is like those girls that have like those guns that shoot those souvenir shirts into the seats. I noticed all those shirts are just shirts with Mike Trout's big face on it.
For real?
Yeah. I got one a few years ago, and then it was his face. And then someone next to me on Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Wednesday, when I was there, got one, and it was Mike Trout's face. I'm like, they still have these? What the hell? How many did they make?
Yeah, so the Ducks need to follow that because they have like a similar thing like that. And when you open it up, it's like a Ducks logo on the front, and on the back it says "Powered by Cox," like the company.
Yeah.
So they need to change that sponsorship because I don't think they're really like looking into that too much. They're like, oh, it's an internet service. I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Powered by Cox. Like, come on. They got to think about it. They got to think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. That could be misinterpreted so many ways. But
you're just like listening on the radio broadcast. You're like, what the hell?
why would it be powered by Cox? And who's Cox?
What are you talking about, Roger Lodge?
Yeah. Oh boy, there's a lot of Cox at the stadium tonight.
John Stamos night.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I'm telling you, this the other thing I want to say, the interpreter, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, he got in there and pulled some guys off. So
no way. I completely forgot about him.
yeah, so we had some unsung heroes today, and then the Angels held on and played a really good game at the end. Renifa with a home run, McKinnon with a RBI, Harrison sliding in, stuff like that. So that was good. So yeah, like, what do you guys take out of this? And do you think that this fight is going to unify this team and hopefully get this team on a run against Chicago here?
Yeah, so Rysel was talking about a post game, and he said they're going to fight like this every single night until they're making the playoffs. I respect that. Hopefully, he doesn't mean physically fight every single night, but yeah, hopefully this puts a little spark in them. It's either going to put a spark in them or do absolutely nothing. So hopefully it does a little something, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I hope he doesn't mean physically. Otherwise, he's going to be throwing sunflower seeds on the third base line every time we're losing.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to need like an attendant just for Rysel, you know.
Exactly.
They'll have a sunflower boy instead of a bat boy or ball boy.
Yeah, Levi is going to be the sunflower kid. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this team though, it's got to get better. I mean, they got Chicago coming up. You know, they got to find some pieces for this lineup, whether they got to do waiver deals, trade deals, whatever. The pieces just aren't working, and if the hitting instructor is not willing to help, unfortunately, I have to make some deals. Is this team good enough, do you think, to recover from this? Because it's one thing to say, okay, hopefully they could build off this, but can they recover from their 14-game losing streak? You know, they're basically 8-27 in their last 35 games. 8-27.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
I don't think they can necessarily recover. I think they can survive. They're definitely not going to be that team they were at the beginning of the year, but who knows? Maybe a couple trades away from maybe even becoming like a wild card contender. And if they go in, like, who knows what's going to happen? Like the 2002 Angels, like, they weren't the greatest team. Like, they weren't even the best team in their division, it seemed like, with the Moneyball scenario. But yeah, if you get in the dance, you never know what's going to happen. Get a good trade in, get rid of some pieces that you don't need, maybe change up some batting stances or formats, and who knows what happens. Baseball's a crazy sport.
You know, it's interesting because I remember Justin Upton had changed his batting stance in spring training with us, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but now that he's with Seattle, he has his old batting stance back. Did you guys notice that?
No, I didn't notice that, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
so I thought that was interesting.
Maybe they're like, what the hell are they teaching you over there? Oh, by the way, you guys touched on Rendon. Yeah, look, what do you guys think about Rendon just getting that surgically repaired wrist done, and he's the first one out there throwing a left-handed slap to Winker's face?
So I feel like me and the rest of every single Angels fan in history is not the biggest Rendon fan. Is kind of seeming like we just pulled ourselves in another Albert Pujols, you know? So I've always thought about him being injury prone. If he like breaks a fingernail, he's out for 2 years, it seems like. And even when he's healthy, it's not necessarily performing like he was in Washington. But he definitely earned my respect today. I don't hate him as much today. So good for him sticking up for his team, even with the opposite hand. Now we know for sure he's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
So,
I'm telling you, man, that left hand is going to take him places.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Powered by Cox.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, you know, like, I was super hyped when we signed him in 2019. Like, I bought his jersey as soon as they were releasing them, you know, like, and I feel like I would have never thought he was going to become a bust like this. Like, like, even like one of my friends was predicting, like, oh my gosh, that might be another Pujols contract. And I was like, no, don't say that. But now it's like, man, he was right.
It's like really weird. Like, that whole signing thing is the Garrett Cole thing, and like, right as we didn't get Garrett, I'm like, damn it. And then like a couple minutes later, Anthony Rendon.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was so weird. It's just, you could tell that they were like, well, we got to get someone, you know. So it was really weird.
They're basically
Yeah.
telling Epler, you got to sign someone for $245 million.
Yeah.
I
Take
know.
my money.
Yeah, I
Take
remember I
my
was hanging
money.
out with my friend that night, and he's a diehard Angel fan like I am, and I remember like we were hanging out at Knott's Berry Farm the night they signed Anthony Rendon, and we were like hyped, like, yeah, we signed Rendon, let's go, let's go. My other friend's like, no, that's too much money.
Yeah.
We need it for pitching, and I'm like, I know, just like
Yeah.
And that was a joke. Now it's so funny. It went for years saying, but whenever we pick up a guy, but can he pitch? But can he pitch? And now it's like now we have the pitching. It's like, but can he hit? Can he hit? So I think that's what's got to change. I mean,
we need a new catcher. Like I feel like we haven't had a good catcher since Maldonado, and that was a while ago. So.
And he wasn't even all that good. It just defensively he was sick. But I
He's
really
pretty good as of recent though.
Yeah, he has. I just feel right now that if they can fill these gaps with some good hitters, contact guys, the pitching's good enough to win. It really is. It's been underrated even when we were losing. And my dad gets frustrated because he's like, boy, they're giving up runs in the first inning again. He gets mad, and it's like, well, 1-0, 3-0 should not be that hard to come back from, but it feels like we're down 7-0. And the pitcher's always got to pitch perfect almost. So,
yeah, like when Seattle took the lead last night, it already felt like the game was over, but it ended up being over, unfortunately. But, like Ohtani was really close to walking it off. Like he had a good swing, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, he kind of just got under it. But thoughts on the White Sox series, predictions on the 3-game series. Are we going to get any rally Chris's here? Are we going for a sweep? Are we losing the series? What's going on?
So,
I'm hoping we can at least win one series.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Tuesday. That's the night we're wearing those city jerseys, those beautiful city jerseys. So,
we're wearing those Tuesday nights. Sweet, I'll be there.
Yeah, Tuesday night, and they're giving out those cups. There's like a bunch of cups. It's like a Mike Trout.
You see, I don't get
Fletcher,
those cups.
Rendon.
Like
throwing the Rendones away. Throwing that one away.
You see, like the cups. It's like why? It's like, and then my cousin's like, well, you're already getting one of those cups with like a large drink there. I'm like, I know. It's like they should be giving us like a free drink voucher in each cup or something.
No, honestly.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like, hey, you guys got to play flip cup. You know what I mean? Here's some flip cups. But
oh god,
no. Every single one is like every single time the Angels give up a run, you get a free beer in this cup.
Oh.
Everyone will get drunk.
Or they'll do like the cup song with those 4 cups.
Oh yeah. Red Solo Cup. No, I think what's going to happen is if you really want to make people drunk in the stands or even at home, challenge them to take a drink every time they strike out, because we've been averaging double-digit strikeouts. So
you already know it's going to be 3 of Velasquez.
God.
Oh my gosh, it's something I forgot to mention last night. Like there was like this older guy that was there. He was frustrated. He was yelling his frustration. Like we had runners on base with Velasquez coming up. He's like, "Oh shit, the inning's over. He's coming up."
Yeah, and it's Nevin's starting to pull him more and more. So
yeah,
he could be hitting the showers a lot quicker now.
A catcher that I feel like that was somewhat good with us was Kevin Smith in 2019. You guys remember him?
Vaguely, I know he played briefly with us. Yeah,
yeah, like he was like he had some home runs here and there, but he was a solid catcher. He wasn't the greatest, I still feel bad for how we did Lucroy after his broken nose. Like right after that, we just gave him up. But
yeah,
I thought that was so effed up. But
the guy in Houston, Jason Castro, he was
Jason
solid.
Castro too.
He reminds me of Matt Duffy if you're a catcher.
Yeah. What sucks about Castro? He never got a fair shot with us here, dude. Like we were so quick to get rid of him, dude.
Yeah.
So
you see, like my cousin, or not my cousin, but one of my good friends was upset because his last name's Castro. So he was like, I need to get his jersey. But now he's like, dang it.
Yeah. So, I don't know if y'all remember John Hester.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. My dad, right when we found out we got some John Hester jerseys, everyone thought we were related to him. It was like, nope, we just happen to have the same last name. So we had to get Hester jerseys. We're his biggest fan, and I think he got about 1 hit.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't give Ian Kinsler a lot either when we had him in 2018. Like I remember how hyped I was when we got him.
Yeah, he did pretty well. I feel like it. But I was like in middle school at the time. Wow, it's a trip.
I hated that guy when he was with Texas because I remember one year. One year was I want to say it was 2000. 12 or something like that. It was one of the years when the Angels had came back and made the playoffs, but it was early. It was maybe June, and Texas came here and swept us and made us look like shit. And Kinsler was pointing to our dugout and our players and said, "Get the fuck off the field," at our own park.
Damn.
And the players and the fans
Cold,
heard
not
it.
gonna lie.
The fans heard it and the players heard it. So later in the season, the Texas
It's just
returned
weird.
and the Angels had jumped them in the standings and were about ready to sew up the division. The players were telling him to get the fuck off the field when they
You get the fuck off the
yeah,
field.
dude, everyone was booing the crap out of Kinsler the rest of the year. It was awesome. So when he actually came to the Angels, I was like, "We got Kinsler? What?"
Yeah. I was like, what the?
Yeah, he didn't fit. He didn't
Winker
fit
in
the
a
Eagles.
couple.
Huh?
Yeah, that's gonna be Winker when we play them. When we play the Mariners, that's gonna be Winker. You know.
Well, I
Yeah,
hope
just
so.
going ape shit at him.
We better boo him a lot like we did with Altuve, dude. I swear, like we better be throwing beers on the field at this bitch and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
I remember too, like my uncle, because I was watching game. My uncle's like, dude, if I was one of those fans right there, he flipped off. I would have thrown my beer on the field at him. I'm like, oh my god.
oh,
Yeah.
So
I guess someone threw his pizza at him. So.
Yeah. He got some shit for
But,
that for sure.
Yeah.
Any
But
final
anyways,
thoughts on anything we're talking about tonight?
I just think we're gonna take 1 out of 3 for the White Sox. The White
Yeah,
Sox
I'm
are
hoping
already
1 out
too
of 3.
good. Even when they aren't the best team in baseball, they're still fairly good. They got the talent.
Mhm.
So I don't think we can beat that talent 3 consecutive games in a row. I think we get the 1.
Yeah, I'm hoping, we can at least get 1 or take 2, unless, Tony La Russa pulls a Tony La Russa, and
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had Joe Madden. At least we didn't have Tony La Russa. So
There
Yeah.
you
oh, it's
Sort
La
of
Russa. Okay, that's how you say it. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
go. If we can
No.
somehow get Rally Chris to the stadium, winning 2 out of 3, I'm hoping for 2 out of 3, but I'm realistically saying 1 out of 3. I mean, it would be awesome if they were somehow to sweep Chicago, because then they could salvage the homestand. But if they don't get 3 out of 3 against Chicago, we're gonna have a losing homestand again.
Yeah,
feel
and
like
that's
it's gonna
tough.
be,
Usually it's like I feel like we have good luck at home, but this year it's just not it.
Yeah, we
I
started
feel like
off
it's gonna be
good.
pretty depressing though, because right after Chicago, we're gonna go right to Houston and play them. So,
Oh, brother.
Yeah, assuming that we take 1 out of 3, I feel like it's gonna be pretty rough. I think it's gonna be 3 out of 6, if anything.
Can you believe that we were once at a plus 43 differential of runs? I don't even want to look at it right now. I know we're either
Yeah.
zero.
And now
or
we're
the
like
stat
one
we
of like
posted-
the worst teams in strikeouts right now. So
we are the worst
the
team.
The
jeez.
stat that you posted a couple of days ago, where it's like Ohtani and Trout practically have the same amount of runs as the whole Angels roster. Like,
Oh my god, when I saw that, I was like, oh, stop it. I get it.
obviously, the Ohtani and Trout should have a large amount, but come on, guys. Like, Brandon
Yeah.
Marsh, I thought you were solid. Jared Walsh, you were an all-star last year. Taylor Ward, even though you've been injured, like, come on, man. You've been kind of cold recently. Step it up a bit.
You see, like when we got swept by LA, I felt like we got bullied.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But it's weird though, because
Big Brother beat the hell out of us.
and you know what? It's weird though, because we usually own them, but even in those 2 games, like it didn't feel like they kicked our ass at all. It just felt like they were like, we're just not going to let you score, and then we're like, all right, like we kind of just gave up. Like the pitching was there. The pitching looked like, hey, we're going to win this, but the hitters were just like, we're not feeling it. And the Dodgers weren't doing that much. They didn't really impress me. Even that no hitter, I'm like, dude, there's some innings where they could have worked walks, could have got hits, and they.
I'm so glad Ohtani broke that. I would have
Oh,
like
that
had a
scared
heart
the
attack
shit out
if
of
they
me.
no hit us.
I was working that night and I kept on saying no hit watch. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Scaring the
You
hell
see,
out
if we
of me,
get no
bro.
hit
I'm
by
like,
anybody else, I don't care. But the Dodgers are freaking rivalry. It's like
I'd rather
no.
get hit 3 times by random teams and no hit once by the Dodgers. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way. I would
And I
have
re-
put it down.
I really want the Angels to exact revenge at home. I don't think they will, but I really want them to get those 2 games at home, because they look flatter than a pancake hitting wise in Dodgers.
Yeah.
So
It's too bad for Reed Detmers that he's back down in the minors. I feel like he just had that lucky game.
I think it might be good for him, honestly. We all know he has the stuff to do it. We've seen it in college and we've seen it in the pros. Like, not everyone gets a no hitter, I think it's just a confidence thing. Like, you need to fix some things, tune up some throws, get that confidence back, and then go back up again. Like, he had a hard schedule for a while, so
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
him and Suarez, they leave too many pitches up on the outside corner work, and they throw too many pitches, fall into walks. They don't trust their fastballs and changeups as much. Their sliders and curves, especially Detmer's, his curves and sliders are too far up in the zone, so they get tattooed a lot. So he's got to use more of his fastballs and changeups more than anything. I think that's hopefully what they're working on in AAA.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys.
I
Well,
think about
go ahead.
3 weeks. I was saying I give him about like 3 weeks till he comes back up though. I
I
feel like
think
it's
so.
just gonna be like a
Reef, yeah.
quick, just get that confidence back, fix some things, and then get back up there.
You guys think Joe Adele will be back up at all this year? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Injury. If there's injuries, I feel like.
I feel like they should put Marsh down and then maybe give Adele another chance. But or do you guys think Marsh is here to stay because they like his left field catches?
I just
think
did.
he's here to stay, but every once in a while there's off days. Like Mike Trout gets a day off every once in a while. Same with Taylor Ward or Brandon Marsh. So I feel like if anything, he comes in for like a substitute type of outfielder.
Joe Madden was giving way too many people days off.
Oh yeah. I just think Marsh is. Oh, go ahead.
It just makes me wonder where this team would be right now if Perry didn't fire him. You know, it's just
we'd be looking at prospects right now.
Like, hey, we're going to be drafted first.
Number one prospect, like the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, like this really hurts with Marsh because I really thought had big expectations for him. I thought he'd have more stolen bases. He'd be more out there as far as singles and doubles.
I thought Brandon Marsh was going to be like a Charlie Blackmon, honestly. Like, not just because of his beard, but just because, I feel like he had that in him.
Yeah, or even like
great defensive play still though. So
yeah,
that's good news.
Even like an Erstad type player, high on base percentage, but he's been swinging at so many sliders, just out and over the plate, low or inside and low. And he's looked terrible up there, dude.
It's like how I swing in MLB The Show a lot,
Uppercutting.
Trout swung at a bad one. Was it today or last night or Friday? And it was like really out, and he just swung at it, and I was like, "Oh my god, Mike,
you
can't do that."
Because like he got walked so much today, it was absolutely absurd. He got that.
Mariners are scared of him, I guess.
That great hit screaming down the line, but like, God, besides that, like, he was going for a jog the majority of the game.
Damn.
Crazy stuff.
Well, all right, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on, doing the show with me in Fernando's absence, and you guys are welcome on any time. We'll probably hook up here soon, but definitely look for JT to be doing his TikToks and for the memes coming from Vince on Halos in the Infield. And hit up their. You guys want to promote your private pages or?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, mine is Vince Jr. _2001. So, and my meme page is IE_memes.
Mm-hmm.
And mine is JT Hester. Dot in between the JT and the Hester. Last E in Hester is a 3. So JT Hester.
There you go. So for Halos in the Infield, JT and Vince, you guys have a good evening.
You too.
Likewise.